Hey out there. Once again, we're back. My name is Zach. I'm joined by your favorite mechanic, Billy Williams.
Hello.
Yep. He's here to answer all your diesel questions. This week, we got to sit down with a Micheal, and he was driving a 2001 7.3 Ford Power Stroke. A little bit of a backstory on the truck. Truck was running bad. He took it to a buddy. Buddy ran a scan on it, found that injectors 2 and 5 were bad. So he bought from dieselcare.store our 7.3 Master Kit, which is one of our more popular selling items for 7.3 owners out there. He installed everything on it, went to start it up, and then boom, ton of codes pop up.
Exactly.
So then he started troubleshooting and replacing some other things that are not included in the kit. He changed out the cam sensor and the ICP sensor. So he's basically been clearing codes out one at a time, replacing things on the engine.
Right.
But there's one code that's persisting, and you had some theories on that, talking to him based on that one code that he still has, as to what it might be.
Yeah, I don't know at what point you want to turn it over and just let him hear the call, but when we initially talked, he had some questions about the potential that the pigtail was wired wrong. That's kind of what I suspected as well. I gave him some things to eliminate. What he's going to do is he'll send me his VIN code. I'm going to send him a wiring diagram, and so he can verify some things. But I think that's what it's going to end up being.
Okay. Well, yeah, let's take a look at the call then.
Hello?
Mike, please.
Speaking.
Hi, Mr. My name's Billy Williams. I work in the tech department of Diesel Care.
Yes, sir.
And before I get started, I do have to make you aware that all my calls are recorded. So as long as you're okay with that, we can proceed. I was forwarded your information. Looks like you've got a 7.3. Now, they didn't list the year model, but
it is a 2001.
2001. Okay. And the notes that I have, and you can correct me, the truck is running rough and is having an intermittent code. Looks like the VCG harness was checked, running rough and dies, and it looks like you've changed the cam sensor and the IPR sensor.
Yes, on the valve cover on the driver's side, up toward the front, there's this little sensor. I think he said it was a pressure sensor of some type or another. I can't remember but we replaced that, and we also replaced the cam sensor, cam positioning sensor. But anyway, I pulled the truck in; it was running right, and we put new injectors, new glow plugs, new harnesses, and we even rewired the pigtails for the harness.
Okay.
And
let me stop you, and my apologies, but it helps me a little bit here. Let's go a little bit back further in memory lane here. What was the reason? What performance reason caused you to want to change the injectors?
Because I would drive it, and the check engine light would come on, and as soon as it did, it would run pretty rough. And then the light would go off 10 minutes later. Some days it wouldn't come on for a day or two, but when it came on, it ran really bad, and then when it ran off, it ran fine.
Okay.
But these glow plugs were shot.
Okay.
And a buddy of mine at work, I work for a big asphalt company, and he works on all the diesel engines. And he ran a buzz test on everything and did some checking on his real nice computer, and said number 5 and number 8 injector were above or below recommended pressure or something like that.
Okay.
So that told me the injectors are starting to go bad.
And how many miles is on this engine?
330.
Okay. And were those the original injectors? Or?
I do believe they were.
Okay. All right. Well, they certainly gave a full service life there.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So fast forward here, you bought a set of injectors and you put them in. Did you change the valve cover harnesses then? And that's when you rewired the pigtails and all?
Yeah, he rewired the pigtails, and he got them right. I mean, we triple checked that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, maybe he could have messed up. I don't know. But we did check that, and now it starts on all different kinds of code, like a injector pressure sensor, which I replaced or whatever that was, and then a cam positioning sensor, and I replaced that. And now all it says on number 2 bank, the driver's side bank, it says there's a short or a fault with something about the battery power. But when you start it up, it'll start up and it'll run rough for about 2 or 3 seconds and then smooth out and be perfect and then die. And that's all you get.
Okay. And so you've cleared out these codes, like the cam position and the other one, and so now the only active code is a circuit fault.
Yeah, something on bank 2. It's like a short or something about battery power from the battery or something. Okay. And both batteries are good. Now we did kind of run them low, but even when we first put it all together and started it, there was problems.
Okay.
And that guy just can't figure it out.
Okay. Have you, in your diagnostics, have you run a buzz test now?
Yes.
Okay. And does it pass the buzz test?
At first, number 2 was, real low in the bus test. That, the sound was real subdued. And then he pulled that injector out and took the head off of the old injector and put on the new injector and tried that, and it did the same thing. And I don't know what he did, but he finally got that code to go away.
Okay.
And now it's just number 2 bank is short or something about the battery power or something like that.
Okay.
And that truck will not stay running. I mean, we took the air intake off from the filter, and he took a gas on a rag and kind of squeezed it in there, and it would run. But as soon as he'd stop, it would not.
Okay.
It's almost like it's starving for gas, or I don't know what's going on. It's weird.
Well, here's what I would suggest. The first place I would start with would be with the valve cover gaskets. I know okay. It says that the wiring was checked on them. If they were not replaced, that driver's side needs to be at least replaced. I would replace both of them. If they've been replaced, I would still replace the driver's side again. Because about half the calls that I get regarding the older 7.3s, the valve cover gaskets usually end up being the problem.
Okay, so I could have got a faulty valve cover gasket.
Well, there is a plethora of suppliers of those gaskets. There's a Dorman, there's a lot of Chinese ones. Motorcraft is probably the best. I always recommend customers going with a Motorcraft if they're troubleshooting a problem.
Okay. Do you know which brand he sent me in that kit?
If you purchased the gaskets from us, most likely they would have been a Dorman brand. Now, I'm not in the purchasing side of things, but that is typically who we've used in the past. If we supplied it, they'll be happy to send you a replacement one. And just from a troubleshooting standpoint, that's the least expensive thing and the least labor time-wise.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I would start with that. Now, that being said, if you change that and you still have that fault code on the number 2 bank, the number 2 cylinder there, then I would start checking that wiring from the plug backwards.
So the wiring where he wired that pigtail in, you think he may have gotten it off?
I think that's what's going to end up being.
Okay, I've asked him a couple of times, and he got up one time and went through it all and double checked. But I mean, I don't know. You know, it's such a simple thing, but usually it's the simplest of things. Everything's all right. It's just a simple thing.
That's words of wisdom. I will say this: if this is my cell number, and if you have the ability to text,
oh yeah,
which I had to have someone teach me. So, but if you text me your VIN code and an email address, I can email you the wiring schematic from Ford. That will so you can verify that wiring. So, you know, or if you already have access to it, you know, but if you don't, I can send you a wiring diagram for that. And
you can text me one.
Well, it's better to email because the document's kind of big and it would kind of be hard to read over a phone. I'd be happy to text it to you if you want. I'm not sure you'd be happy with the result. But if you
I've got an iPhone 12 Pro Max, but
okay,
I don't know if that would be good enough for that.
Well, I've got your cell number. I mean, I can if you will text me your VIN code so I can look it up because I want to go by VIN code to make sure I get everything right.
I don't know if I've got that handy or not. I tell you what, if I call your cell back in a few minutes. Mm-hmm. Would you be able to answer it?
Most likely I'll be on the phone.
Okay.
But I will say, if if you're near the truck, the VIN code's either on the door, jam, or it's right there in where your windshield, down in the corner of your windshield right there. You can just snap me a picture of it. And matter of fact, I prefer that.
I'm actually about 25 minutes away.
Okay.
From the truck right now. It's over at the shop for the company I work at. And but what I can do is I can save your number. And what's your name? Let me write your name down.
Yes, sir. My name's Billy Williams, and I work in the tech department of diesel care.
Okay, let me write that down. Billy Williams.
Yes, sir.
And your phone number is and you work for DCP.
Correct.
Tech. Okay, I've got your number, and as soon as we hang up, I'm going to save this and put Billy Williams, DCP Tech. And when I find the VIN number for that truck, I'm going to email it to you. Text it to you.
Okay. Yeah, send it to me. And if it's today, you can just send me the VIN code. If you do it like tomorrow or the next day, just put your name back on there so I can connect the dots.
I'll put Michael.
Yeah, that way I'll look up the notes and I'll get that information. Then I'll give you a follow-up call in a few days.
I'll sure appreciate it, and I'll see how quickly I can get you a VIN number, bud.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye. So after talking to Michael, he still having some problems with those codes coming off the scan. Based on what we know right now, he needs to, one, get his VIN number. And then you'll be able to get him the correct wiring diagram, and he should be able to check and make sure those pigtails are wired correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that we do have access to is a large amount of support data, technical documents, installation instructions. All of that's available to our customers or to just, people who call in. If we have something that we think will help. In this case, I think he was a little bit unsure if that plug was wired correctly. So sending him this wiring diagram will be the way for him to check that. If that comes back checked fine, we may have a bad valve cover gasket. I will say it. I've said it before and I'll say it again. No parts company's perfect. If they tell you they've never had a problem, don't walk away, run away from them.
Right.
It's how you handle problems that are important. I suspect that he's going to find that this plug is just wired wrong based on that really odd code. He tried to describe it. He didn't know the number, and I couldn't remember it, but it's not seeing battery voltage. And that makes me think that that it's just wired incorrectly.
So, yeah, we'll file Michael away for a follow-up call. Obviously, we got to get him that wiring diagram first so that he can progress. So, yeah, if you need technical documents out there or you need questions answered about your diesel, you can reach out to us at 1-800-961-9290. Or if you want to learn more about our company, you can visit us at www.dieselcare.store. Leave us a comment in the comment section. Follow us on social media. I have been Zach. He's been Billy. We'll see you next week.
Take care.
Bye.
Yes, I'm built out and bound to go. I'm gonna leave here running because walking is most too slow.
All right, back to one.